Hi friends, in this video I am going to give you specific tips for examination presentation. Let it be for theory subjects, let it be for practical subjects, but mainly I will stick to my paper EIS and SM. So let us see some general tips first and then let us go specifically for EIS and SM. General tips: attempt for how many marks? My dear friends, many of your seniors might have told you, don't write for 100 marks, don't write for 80 marks, write it only for 60-70 marks. This is all bullshit. This is all bullshit. Always go with the exam with an intention of attempting for 100 marks, and please attempt for 100 marks. Don't leave it. Don't believe in the guys who say you have to write only for 70 marks, 80 marks and all. Why are you going to exam, man? Otherwise, you go to the exam, write for an entire 100 marks in every subject. In every subject, you have to write for 100 marks. Number 2, a 15-minute revision time will be provided. Usually your examination will start at 2 o'clock and will end at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock will be your examination, but they will start your exam at 1:45 itself. They will permit you into the examination hall at 1:30. They will give you the question paper at 1:45 itself. 1:45 to 2 o'clock is the time when, they have given you a grace period. During that time, what you should do is, you should sharpen your pencil, you should put margins in your paper, you should see what saree invigilator is wearing, what dress beside girl has come today. So that is what is that should be your concentration during that 15 minutes, 1:45 to 2 o'clock. I am saying you, than 2 to 5, this 1:45 to 2 is very, very important in your life. This 1:45 to 2 o'clock, these are not the activities which you should do. During that time, I myself, what I used to do during that time, again my faculties told me to do in this way. What I used to do during that time is, I used to take the question paper, I will see each and every question. So there will be choices and all, right? So I will decide what are all the questions I am going to attempt for. What are all the questions I am going to attempt. And very importantly, one good thing which I used to do during that 1:45 to 2 o'clock is, see, if I read the first question, there might be 6 or 7 side headings for that question. So I will write down tuki. If there is any mnemonic or if there is any side headings, I will write down tuki with a small pencil. I will write down. Don't spoil the entire question paper. Write very little. Nothing. Invigilator also will not scold you. This is a professional exam. Write very smallly. Write your side headings alone. This used to help me a lot, because whenever we are answering second question, I'll get the ideas for seventh question. That will keep on disturbing my brain. Then what I will do, I'll just take a pencil nearby the seventh question. I'll write it, take care of this point while writing. So for that reason, I'll note down that particular point. Then my brain will become cool. Okay, I have written there. I will not forget. So I will start writing patiently. But this will help. Within that first 15 minutes, write down whatever the side headings or write down this adjustment is very important. For example, while solving the problematic paper, you might feel one adjustment you might forget. So you highlight that particular adjustment. So for that reason, you will remember, okay, while solving this question, this is the very important adjustment. Something of that nature you can note down. That 15 minutes is very crucial. You are going to read the entire question paper during that time. Don't worry. EIS SM question paper will be there for sure 2 papers. Even if it is there for 20 papers, only thing is they printed with huge amount of distance between line. So EIS SM usually will be for 2 papers, 3 papers only. But when it comes to accounts paper or direct tax paper, sometimes paper will go for 20 pages. Question paper will go for 20 pages. Question paper will go for 16 pages. Don't worry, even 16 pages question paper. Always remember, if question paper is big, feel happy. Questions are going to be easy because so much of information is there in the question itself. But if question paper is small, that is when you should start worrying. Worrying irrespective of the size of the question paper. Size of the question paper is not going to decide you whether it is a easy paper or whether it is a difficult paper. What I am trying to say you guys is, whatever is the question paper you received, entire India received the same question paper. If it is difficult for them, it is difficult for you also. In any case, 25% of the people are going to pass. 20 to 25% of the people are going to pass. Your intention is to be in that 20 to 25%. So don't worry. If question paper is lengthy, take it with positive mind. Third, pen color. Nana, ICAI recommended you, not recommended. ICAI made it mandatory. You should write it only with black color pen, Nana. You should write the exam only with black color pen. Even if you wish to highlight something, highlight it only with black color pen. What is the reason? ICAI officially didn't announce. Any reason ICAI officially didn't announce. But ICAI has said mandatory to write entire exam in the black colored pen. So please write it with black colored pen for sure. Then one important question, sir, should I sit for entire 3 hours, sir? Because I prepared everything, sir. I wrote everything. I verified also. Then can I rush away, sir? Can I give the paper and then rush away? No, you should not come out, Nana. 3 hours. Put your hard efforts. And then completely write that particular 3 hours of exam. Even if you have completed, try highlighting some important points. Try verifying once again. Use the calculator once again and then check. But don't come out before 1 minute also. That is very, 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 very important. And usually how much time should I spend for each question is what people ask. For 16 marks a question, 20 minutes is the time, Nana. 20 minutes is the time. Ideally, the standard time. For a 16 marks question, 20 minutes is the time. Then you can proportionately calculate. For rest of all the things, you can proportionately calculate. But sometimes for some questions, it might exceed a little. Then you should adjust it. In other places and all. You should adjust. Especially this problem will come for FR paper, DT paper, problematic papers. Like, time management is very, very important. Keep a clock with you for sure. Not for creating the tension, but for planning yourself. First question, it might take some time. Usually most of the times, first question will take more than 20 minutes. Don't worry, don't panic yourself. Solve that particular question. Keep 30 minutes, not a problem. Go till 30 minutes because that is first question. Which you are writing on the paper. So for that reason, go till the end of 30 minutes, not a problem, but don't spend more than 30-35 minutes, Nana. If you feel, sir, I'm getting stuck in this problem, please don't get stuck over there. Whatever you have solved, leave it there, then start the next question immediately. Don't get stuck. Keep a clock with you. Don't get stuck in one particular question. Keep moving to the next question. For sure, this is an important thing which you should remember. And start every question with a big heading. What I mean is, whenever I see the recorrection papers, so many students will keep coming and then showing the papers which they have applied, right? During that time, what I realize is, our people will write first question, there itself they will leave 1 line gap and then they will start writing the second question. Please don't do that way. Leave 3 or 4 lines gap. Put a big heading. Answer to question number 3. Put a big heading because most of the times it will be corrected by senior chartered accountants. Most of our papers are corrected by senior chartered accountants. Maybe old people will also be there. They may overlook it. For that reason, I am saying you, once you complete a question, let it be like, I completed 1A, then I completed 1B, then I completed 1C. For every question, after completion of 1A, leave 3 or 4 lines of gap. And put a clear heading. Both in the margin, you will write 1A. In the center also, you will write answer to question number 1B. Write it clearly so that people will not miss it while correcting. This is a practical problem which is there in our exam. So for that reason, I am saying you, and like children, don't commit the mistakes in writing the hall ticket number, bubbling the hall ticket number. Don't commit such a kind of idiotic mistakes. I am not the person to teach those kind of things. So please don't commit such kind of mistakes alone. So this is what general tips. And very importantly, people ask me, can I write in any sequence? Like first question first, second question, after that fourth question, after that third question, after that second question. So can I write jumble can I write? My suggestion for them is, yes, you can write, Nana. Always pick up the question which you know well. Most of the times I used to feel last question I know better. Most of the times, because last question will be comparatively easy. So no problem, start with that question. But my important point over here is, if you start with any question, try completing all the sub questions in it. Because you know right, each question will have ABC or ABCD or ABCDE. First question will have two sub questions, second question will have 2 sub questions. What I am trying to say is, complete all that. If you start with 3, no problem, start with 3, complete 3A, complete 3B, complete 3A, complete 3B, then only go to the next question. Complete all sub questions in it. Complete all sub questions. Sir, I read the entire question paper, sir. In any question, I don't know all the sub questions. No problem, Nana. Then at that point of time, choose any question which you know well. For example, you answered 4A, you answered 4B, but you don't know 4C and 4D. Okay, no problem. Complete what other questions you know. At the end, write 4C and 4D. You might be knowing some idea. You might be having some idea over there, right? There at the end, you write 4C and 4D. But don't jumble yourself. 1A, 3C, 2B, 4C, 5A. So don't jumble. Because the person who is correcting will get irritated. He has to move the answer paper that side, this side, that side, this side. See, no, don't do that kind of things. Always, presentation is very important. Presentation is very important because your 9 months of preparation, you are going to summarize in 3 hours and it is going to be evaluated in 20 minutes. It is going to be evaluated in 20 minutes. Your 9 months of effort, 20 minutes is the time within which we will evaluate. So for that reason, I am saying you concentrate a lot over here. Don't irritate the examiner. I mean, don't irritate the person who is correcting. Always your paper should be so beautiful. Your paper should be so beautiful such that people should stand up and then salute it. People should stand up and salute it. Such a kind of paper should be written by you. Such a kind of paper should be written by you. You can write in any sequence, but if you pick up any question, preferably complete all sub questions in it. Preferably complete all sub questions in it. Should I write choice? Should I write choice? No, not required. You need not write the choice question. Why I am saying? ICAI specifically said the last question which you write as a choice. For example, in most of the question papers, one question will be choice, right? One question will be choice. That question, even if you write, ICAI says whatever you write at the end, that will not be considered for evaluation. That will not be considered for evaluation. In 10th class plus 2, it will not be that way. In 10th class, in plus 2, it will not be that way. It will not be that way. For example, I wrote all the questions. I wrote even choice question. In 10th class and all, how they will take? They will take best of those questions. Best of. For example, 4 questions are there. I should write 3. Usually in 10th class, if I write all the 4, they will take best of those 4 into the counting purpose. But in ICAI exams, it is not that way, Nana. They will take whatever you have written in the first. And the last question will not be evaluated. Sometimes it happens, especially in problematic papers. I thought second question is very easy. I wrote it. After starting the second question, then I realized, second question is very difficult. I should have started with some other question. Then I wrote at the end, after writing second, third, fourth, fifth, I wrote all the questions. 6th question, 7th question, I wrote all the questions. Now, the problem here is, ICAI will consider only first 5 questions. ICAI will consider whatever you have written in the first 5, only those things will be considered. For that reason, what I am saying is, if you feel second question, if you have not written well, if you want examiner to consider the 7th question into the counting purpose, you on the second question, draw just one line with the pencil and strike it off. Strike off. You can write strike off, don't consider something like that. Strike it off with a pencil. Just, don't do like this and all. That's a very bad practice. Whenever if you wish to strike off something, just draw one line on it. Don't scratch it. So draw a strike off line and then start. Then at the time, examiner will consider all the next 5 questions. That is very important. Please remember this, which is a difference from your regular exam. Then apart from that, coming to the EIS and SM. There will be separate paper for EIS, separate paper for SM. In fact, it will be in different color. Red color for EIS, blue color for SM. Something of that nature. They will give you 2 answer sheets. Plus, they will give you one OMR sheet. For answering the MCQ questions. All the 3 will be provided to you at 145 itself. They will give you all the 3. You decide which you want to start first. I know MCQs very well, no problem. Start writing the MCQs. Sir, no sir, I know theory very well. Which one you know? SM you know? Start SM. You know EIS? Start EIS. Anything, it doesn't matter. Anything you can take it up and anything you can write. And usually for EIS and SM paper, it is a theoretical paper. For that particular reason, time will not be a constraint, Anna. Time will not be a constraint for EIS and SM paper. So for that reason, I am saying you, here also, presentation is very important. Anna. Presentation is very important. Like as I said, you will keep the heading answer to the question number 2A. Let's assume that question is, what are the benefits of XBRL? Then, first in the 2 lines, keep a heading XBRL in the brackets, Extensible Business Reporting Language. Write 2-line definition. 2-line or 3 lines definition. 3 lines definition. Any question, they asked you explain O2C process. Write in 2 lines first summary. What do you mean by O2C process? process one line, and what do you mean by OTC process? 1 or 2 lines. So that 3 lines are very important. Write introductory line, then leave 1 line of gap, 1 line, not 4 lines, 1 line of gap, then start explaining the benefits. For example, clear definition is one benefit, right? Clear definition. See, if you write like this, for example, see here, how will I write? I keep a heading, answer to question number 2A. Then I have written XBRL, in brackets. XBRL stands for Extensible Business Reporting Language. Then I will write 2 or 3 lines of definition. Then I will leave 1 line. Then I will start with first side heading. Okay, benefits of XBRL. This is the question, right? Benefits of XBRL. What is the side heading? Okay, clear definitions. This is the benefit. Clear definitions. Clear rules or clear definitions, that is the benefit. Then explain in first point, second point, third point. In that, under that definition, explain it in 3 points or 2 points. Write point wise itself, because examiner can easily correct it. And make sure your answer appears little lengthy. Write more always. Write more. If you know 3 points, write all the 3 points. Don't think that, sir, it is only a 2 marks question. Should I write all the 3 points? No, Nana. If it is taking small amount of additional time, nothing wrong. Write all the 3 points. Write all the 3 points. That is what I will say. Then write second definition. Second, extensive software support. Then explain 1, 2, 3 points. If there are 3 points, if there is only 1 point, nothing you can do. You will write only 1 point. Otherwise, you write it in 3 points. Make sure that your answer appears little lengthy. If it is, how much I should write is what you people ask, right? For a 2 marks question, ensure minimum 5 lines of answer is there. Whatever is the main answer, it should get covered in first 2 lines itself. There also you write it in point wise. It should get covered in 2 lines. Then any additional point which you know about it, then you can write it in 2 more points. 4 to 5 lines, 2 marks question should be there. For a 4 marks question, you have to write one entire page. One entire page is approximately 24 lines. In fact, little more than that. And if you write it in this manner, by leaving 1 line of gap, by keeping a side heading and writing the points, it will obviously go for more than 1 page. Psychology remains like our 10th class teacher said, write more. 10th class teacher said, right? In IPCC also that psychology remains. But with that I doesn't mean that write whatever you know. I'm saying relevant answer, write it. Whatever the answers you know very well, write it in the beginning. Little bit doubtful answers, write it at the end. First impression is the best impression. So for that reason, initial questions itself will set your tone for the examiner. For that reason, you write it in that particular way. And flowchart question. If flowchart comes in the exam, definitely you should solve in the question paper first. Or in the booklet itself, make last page as the rough paper. I used to do it for every subject. Last paper I will keep it as a heading called rough, or like, this is just workings, and then I will practice everything there. And then I'll come here. Sometimes we need to do calculations and all, right, for problematic papers. Those things also you can do it in the last paper. Then you can start writing. These papers are not yours. These papers are provided by ICAI. So please maintain some distance and write it little lengthy. Important points. For now, ICAI is not permitting you to use some other pen. Don't use blue colored sketch or something like that to highlight. The same black colored pen, you highlight a little bit. Nothing else we can do. So because ICAI is not permitting you to use any other pen. So for that reason, I am saying you, please continue to use the same pen and highlight 1 or 2 points. Don't highlight too many things. Underline 1 or 2 letters. Nothing wrong. Examiner attention will be caught over there. So that will help you to help it. How to plan 3 hours? I told you, right? The same logic works here as well. 16 marks, 20 minutes. It will work in the EIS and SM as well. Accordingly, you plan writing your paper. Not too difficult. Maybe, in this paper, usually you will not have time constraint at all. So don't worry, be cool and then write. Can I write any question first? Yes, you can write any question first. But in any case, you have to write the first question for sure. Let us see that as well. So you can write in any order. But as I said you, if you start with the 7th question, complete all sub questions. If you start with 3rd question, complete all sub questions. Then only please try to move on to the next question. That is very much important. how will be the question paper pattern? I am not covering about any other subject. I am covering only about the EIS and SM. So this is the EIS pattern. This is the EIS and pattern. The same pattern is for SM. Same pattern is for SM. Same pattern will be there for SM. So EIS and SM, similar pattern, Nana. So first question will always be compulsory question. You have to definitely attempt this question. Maybe you can attempt it at the beginning itself, or maybe you are attempting at the end or in the middle, anywhere. But you have to definitely attempt this question. You have to write answer, or at least you have to put number in the question paper for sure. That is what ICAI meant compulsory. So for that reason you have to write it. That is what instruction also says. So for that reason you have to write this particular question for sure. Then out of the next four questions, you can write any three. You can write any three. Any three you can choose and you can write that particular question. Each question will usually have 2 or 3 sub questions. For example, second question will again have 2A, 2B, 2A, 2B, sometimes 2 questions, sometimes 3 questions, etc. You need not worry about it, but you have to write 3 questions out of these 4 for sure. Then MCQ questions you will write in the answer book. You will write it in the OMR. You will write it in the OMR. Again and again, institute is repeatedly saying, don't write MCQ answers in the main book. Don't write MCQ answers in the main book. So at the end, whenever you are coming out from the examination center, you have to hand over MCQ OMR sheet plus strategic management answer paper plus EIS answer paper. All these 3 you have to hand over to the invigilator, and then only you have to walk out. Please understand that particular thing. Very importantly, don't write EIS answers in the SM answers in the EIS. For the God's sake, don't do that particular mistake, Nana. After putting so much of effort, for these kind of things, if you go wrong, literally apart from crying, there won't be any other feeling. Apart from crying, I cannot do anything else. So for that reason, I'm saying you, don't commit such kind of mistakes. Be cool in the examination hall. This is not going to be such a difficult paper, such a difficult exam. It is not going to be such a difficult exam. So please be cool. Whatever you have learned, you write it in the exam. Day before exam, concentrate well and then prepare and then present it in the paper. Make sure you are revising. You are like overviewing entire thing once, and then you come out. Whenever you in the problematic paper, you can highlight the answer, Nana. Highlight the answer. What do I mean by highlighting the answer? Probably once you arrive at the entire answer, total amount of tax, total amount of cost, total amount of overheads or something, put it in a box. That is like highlight. I'm highlighting that particular thing. If you are confident about the answer, please highlight it, so that examiner will not look into the entire thing. He will concentrate on the answer. If that is correct, he'll actually provide you the marks. So these are what the tips. If you still have any doubts, post it in the comments section. I'll be happy to answer you guys. Thank you very much. All the very best. Don't waste even a single minute for the next 2 months. Prepare very, very well. With this I am ending this particular series on preparation for your exams. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nana.